Welcome to our fourth session for second year students and complete one level students for credit hours system. Today we will speak about special tray construction for edentulous arches. Instruments and materials needed. These are the pictures of the materials. Now let's speak about special tray for zinc oxide impression material, or we can call it a closed or a tray without spacer. First of all, we will draw the outline of our casts. We have two important lines, denture line and a tray line. With one pencil, start drawing the first line, which is the denture line. This line goes all around the cast's border to the deepest portion in your impression, which represent the area which will be covered by the denture. Don't forget to draw around your Fresnel area. Go through all your sulcus, anterior and posterior. Your limitation in the posterior of the upper cast will be just posterior to the fovea palatine. And this is your denture line. With the other colored pencil, start drawing the second line just 2 millimeters above the first one, and this will represent your tray line. The tray line is where your special tray is going to end. Follow the first line all around the cast. And also don't forget your Fresnel area. In the posterior region, just start at the same line as the denture line. And this is the upper. And the same for the lower. This is the upper cast. These are the two lines. And this is the lower cast and the two lines too. And now we completed drawing the two lines in the upper and the lower casts. Now for the second step, immerse your cast in water for a while, so the cast will be saturated and there will no porosity in the acrylic resin. In a rubber bowl, add your upper cast, then add your lower cast and leave them to dry. Now we are going to prepare our cast before we start. Using separating medium such as Vaseline, we are going to use a cotton or a gauze and paint all the cast with separating medium to avoid sticking of the acrylic resin on our cast. And now put the casts beside. 2 glass slabs. On each one, paint your separating medium with a cotton or a gauze to avoid sticking of the acrylic resin. while you are pressing them between the glass slabs. Put 4 stoppers on each side or each corner of the glass slab to give you an even thickness of the material. Now for mixing the self-cure acrylic resin. Using a ratio of 2 to 1, 2 powder to 1 liquid, we will start mixing our acrylic resin. This is the powder. In your glass cup, add the powder, then add the liquid. Then use a wooden stick to mix your acrylic resin. Be sure that all the powder is covered with liquid and you have a smooth mix. And you can get back to your notes and see what would happen if we increased the liquid or increased the powder. Now, cover your glass cup with a lid or even your glass slab and set it beside. Now let's talk about the stages of the resin. We have 4 stages: sandy stage, sticky stage, dough stage, and rubbery stage. We are going to get our dough stage in our work. This is the shape of the dough stage. Pressing the dough between the 2 glass slabs until the stoppers are even, and this will give you a thickness of about 2 mm for your dough. Adapting the acrylic resin on your cast. Here, starting for the upper, adapt the acrylic resin in the palette first and start pressing gently without making any prints with your fingers. Be sure that your acrylic resin is covering all the parts of the ridge and the sulks. Here we are cutting all the excess, never to leave any excess of the material outside the land area of the cast. Using a small dropper with some of the monomer, adding the monomer will ease the cutting of the acrylic resin and also make it smooth. And now start cutting the excess amount of acrylic resin as much as you can. You can cut till the denture line and then you will have a mark of the tray line inside the acrylic resin after setting, or you can from the beginning cut the acrylic resin at the tray line. Be sure to make it smooth, adding more monomer to ease the cutting of the acrylic resin. In this step, the more neat we work, the less time we take for finishing. Be sure that you are working fast to avoid the setting or the acrylic resin getting into the rubbery stage, as if the acrylic resin gets into the rubbery stage, it will not be accurate and you will not be able to adapt it well to the cast. Now for the final thing, we have to make a handle for the tray. Quickly from the remaining parts of the acrylic resin, start forming the handle of the tray. And using the monomer dropper, Put some on the midline, on the ridge, in the anterior side of your tray, and fix your handle. Be sure that your handle is straight, in the midline, and not sharp, easily handled, not too short and not too long. Make sure it's secured to your tray and make it smooth using your wax knife or your wax carver. As you can see, the tray is neat, no excess amount of acrylic resin. And now be sure that all your borders are closed and handle your tray in this manner. Do not press with your fingers. Now for the lower, the same steps, but we are going to make the acrylic resin in the form of a U shape or a horseshoe shape between the two glass slabs. And don't forget to remove the tongue space and adapt in the same manner as in the upper. Remove all the excess amount of acrylic resin. Be sure that the acrylic resin is adapted to the cast, reaching all the sulcus area. Do not cut too short and do not leave a lot of amount of acrylic resin outside the land area of the cast. Here, be sure that it is adapted. Don't forget to make your handle of the tray. The handle in the lower is either straight or L shape. The main criteria for the handle, it's not interfering with the lips of the patient, and it's held like this. As you can see, this is the finished tray. We have the upper and we have the lower special tray. A very small amount is needed for finishing. Finally, finishing of the special tray using micromotors and some tools. We have different sizes of finishing pairs. We have disc and mandrel. We have smooth and coarse type of finishing pairs that we will see in the next video. An important thing to speak about is the important criteria for a good special tray construction. It should have even thickness of about 2 mm, non-porous, smooth polished surface, rounded smooth borders, and the handle in the midline. Thank you so much and see you next session.